there and welcome back to Japan, where I'm going to give you a reaction and review to Limit by AliA. And as always, if you want to see the reaction, I just did it, so you can watch that video and watch the song along with me by pausing this one, the review video, clicking the link in the description below, and there you will be able to open up another little YouTube player where you can watch the song along with me. Otherwise, I'm about to give you the review. Are you ready? Because here it comes. Don't say I didn't warn you. Okay, so basically this is actually, this is nice because, as I said, I am working on the basis that I've got a bit of a pre-existing bias towards AliA. I've really been enjoying them recently. They're certainly one of the groups who I think have stood out to me quite a lot. I think one of the reasons for that is the rather diverse amount of sound they have. Now, this goes in a direction that perhaps doesn't explore all of the things that I most like about them, in that it is more of a rock song where the extra sounds available to them, the piano and the violin, are kind of, well, the keyboard and violin, should I say, are somewhat thrown in for accentation. That's fine, but they don't so much define the sound. They don't use them to make something particularly original about this. Like I say, there was a feeling that the way that the piano and the violin was used was almost reminiscent of a sort of evanescent sound, in that you had the stabbing guitars, and between the stabbing guitars, you had the violin and the piano doing little quick things to add a little bit of colour between them. Nothing wrong with that, absolutely fine. However, it meant that this song was probably more identifiable with pre-existing genres and tropes than some of their other songs. So I can see this, more as just, AliA using their sound in that sense. And it does look like it's maybe an older video by them, maybe one of the early ones where they were trying to work out their sound a bit more. That's just my guess. They've had some really big videos, like the one for Utopia with all the fountains and stuff, and then the massive Impulse that had all of the video screen and everything, and this one was just them seemingly playing in a car park with a really big light. So, this was about as simple as a video can get. So it might well have been an earlier work of theirs, but still, like I say, the quality was there. I mean, I really liked how the musicianship punched through, and there was a lot of interesting bits. The chorus was a really good one in that it developed. As I say, it was one of the qualities that I would attribute to AliA as a general, is that they do seem to do these choruses that are not immediately catchy, but certainly they're perfectly timed, that between the time when you first hear it at the beginning of the song and the time you hear it probably the third time at the end of the song, as is normally the case, it certainly has worked its magic into becoming relatively catchy, getting itself into your ears, getting it going through your brain. So I would say the chorus is good enough to make you want to come back on that basis, although not super catchy, certainly interesting and engaging. The rest of the song had, like I say, it had an interesting mixture of going somewhere between the AliA tropes of originality and interesting sounds, and just sort of being a standard rock song, and nothing wrong with that either. However, there are so many bands doing hard rock that it kind of leaves you in a bit of a difficult position. It's such a ubiquitous sound that if you are doing hard rock, how do you stand out or define yourself in any way? So when they were doing the hard rock, it was effective. The stabbing guitars and things were effective at being that. However, they didn't particularly forge any image where you were going, okay, this is a song that is stand out brilliant or anything. It was just kind of like, this is good at being hard rock. It didn't define itself through those moments. It more defined itself through the other moments. And like I say, those other moments were somewhat in between for colouring. So the result that you're left with the result you're left with by this song is one where it sounds really good. It sounds kind of original, sounds really good, sounds engaging, has a good chorus, but no particular part of it quite stands out enough to be massively memorable. And like I say this is someone who I'm trying to reason with the fact that I am biased towards them, and I'm probably going to go back and listen to this song just because I like their sound. But if I was probably more of a general listener who was not already noticing some pre-existing bias, #no bias, then I would not be sure if I would be quite as swayed to come back to this one. So, like I said, just to recover those points and just to cover why that is, the chorus is really good and it catches you by the end of the song, but it's not standout catchy. The rock elements really rock well. It hits hard when it needs to hit hard, but none of those elements are quite stand out enough in such a ubiquitous sound and genre as hard rock to really be noticed. And the elements that add the particular flavour to AliA's sound, the violin and the keyboard, and the keyboards can pick any song. As I said in the review of Utopia, one of the things that made Utopia work so well is the fact that he went for such crazy, unexpected sounds that it took a song that sounded a little bit like one of their other songs and made it sound completely fresh again. So listening to the keyboard sound, he went for a piano alongside a hard rock song, heard that before, haven't we? And played it really well, you know, really interesting improvisation, but he was kind of playing between the heavy notes where the guitar gave some reprieve, gave some space for the keyboard to come in. The violin doing great work. However, like I say, you know, it was kind of, again, filling in the spaces, filling in the gaps where it was available. So all of the elements were there, but nothing quite, like I say, worked in the direction of originality and identity so much as just delivering sort of like a good quality, slightly orchestral hard rock song. And that is fair enough. That's fine. This is something that I often said of bands like Bandmade when I was first reviewing them before we reviewed every single song they ever did, was the fact that if I was hearing these songs for the first time, I would be wowed. But when I'm hearing them in the context of a band who I'm already really impressed by, then I feel like they've set the bar high enough that I'm going to be a little bit more critical because I'm going to set my standards higher for them. I'm going to want to hear more. I'm going to want to be wowed by them more than by other artists. So, yeah, like I said, there's a slightly unfair balance to this. I guess the bias could work both ways in that I am both impressed by this song, and if it was the first time I was hearing them, I'd really be itching to come back. And at the same time, I can't help but feel that the fact that I like this band and I like what they do so much makes me think that this is good, but not really them testing their range. Then again, like I say, it's probably one of their earlier songs. As always, though, the way I find this out is through the comments. So guys, get in the comments and let me know if you know more about AliA, which I'm sure plenty of people do. Tell me, is this an earlier song or not? Tell me what you think about it as well. What's your opinions? Do you really like this one? Maybe if you're sort of a hard rock fan anyway, you can give a better opinion on that side. Maybe this is a song that you appreciate more than some of their other songs. Whether you like it or not, get in the comments and tell us. And please give us the reasons for your thoughts if you can as well, because that's what breeds the conversation. And considering that music is subjective, conversation is what this channel is all about. And if you want to get more involved in the conversation, as always, remember our Discord is linked in the description below, along with all our other social medias like our Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, and also there's our merch page if you want to go and buy some of our weird merchandise. Our Patreon if you want to support us, like the wonderful people who keep this channel running. But either way, thank you so much for getting through to the end of this rather waffly video. I appreciate you being here, and until hopefully I'm able to bring you more reviews from Japan very, very soon. For now, ciao, ciao.